Lee Dongjin is a gifted and highly intuitive data prospector with exceptional insight. With just one glance, he can accurately deduce someone's age and wealth. At a casino, he quickly identified a target. A blue-collar man in a plain shirt, not a regular, who was on the verge of losing all his money, but was becoming increasingly reckless instead of stopping. Seeing this, Lee Dongjin calmly instructed a waiter to offer the man complimentary food and lodging to take a break and clear his head. Normally, casinos aim to drain gamblers' wallets, but Lee Dongjin had a unique perspective. He believed that allowing gamblers to lose everything in one go could deter them from returning. Instead, through reasonable management, they could be encouraged to visit regularly, which would increase profits. The chairman, hearing Lee Dongjin's contrarian thinking, agreed with his approach, and partners echoed the sentiment. Lee Dongjin's exceptional performance sparked the chairman's interest in investing. Just then, everyone saw that the man Lee Dongjin had advised was selling his car for cash. The chairman remarked on the unpredictability of life and the bottomless nature of desire, acknowledging that the complexities of the world cannot be fully understood through data alone. He handed Lee Dongjin a business card, inviting him to discuss matters over dinner. Lee Dongjin found his car windshield smashed and immediately called the police. Surveillance footage showed the suspect checking a phone number before vandalizing the car, indicating a possible grudge against Lee Dongjin. However, Lee Dongjin could not recall any conflicts with others, nor did he recognize the suspect from the footage. With his car unusable, Lee Dongjin had to take the subway home. While sitting on the subway, he heard a man shouting a familiar name, Park Mi-jung. Looking in the direction of the voice, he saw a drunken man harassing a woman, insisting on dating her. The man did not believe that approaching her could be dangerous and demanded a valid reason for her refusal. Nearby students were recording the harassment on their phones. When the woman facing away from Lee Dongjin turned to confront the man, Lee Dongjin was shocked to see that it was Park Mi-jung, a figure from his deep memory. His thoughts drifted back to high school, when he, sweating on the sports field, was unwittingly attracted to Park Mi-jung, who was sitting alone eating her lunch. Park Mi-jung, with her neat short hair, exuded a charisma that made people want to be near her. Since then, Lee Dongjin often found himself watching Park Mi-jung. However, during that time, rumors about Park Mi-jung in school resulted in her always being alone. One rainy day, Park Mi-jung did not have an umbrella. A boy claiming to be going her way offered to share his umbrella and walked her home. As they neared her house, they parted ways, and the boy left the umbrella with Park Mi-jung and ran into the rain. Just a few steps after Park Mi-jung walked away, a thunderclap sounded, and tragically, the boy died in an accident that—
You are watching Daddy Drama Movies, and I wish you subscribed.
Rainy day. A hearse circled the school playground 3 times to bless the deceased. Students whispered among themselves, unable to recall how many similar incidents had occurred at the school. After returning to the classroom, they avoided Park Mi-jung, clearly distancing themselves from her. Lee Dongjin, who secretly watched over Park Mi-jung, noticed her tear-stained face. Students privately speculated that the school's accidents were all connected to Park Mi-jung. There was a rumor that anyone involved with Park Mi-jung was cursed, following an incident where a senior student died from a hornet sting while she was present. Consequently, they called Park Mi-jung the witch behind her back. Lee Dongjin defended Park Mi-jung, arguing that conclusions should not be drawn based on hearsay. Whether Park Mi-jung was at the scene or the accidents occurred near her home could not definitively link her to the incidents. Later, during the school trip, Lee Dongjin, responsible for photography, captured Park Mi-jung reading alone and secretly took her picture with his last film. While reviewing the photos, Lee Dongjin saw a classmate who shared classes with Park Mi-jung fall and injure his leg. The teacher had to carry him to see a doctor. Park Mi-jung stood up in shock, trembling as if overwhelmed by fear. After the trip, Lee Dongjin developed the photos and eagerly analyzed Park Mi-jung's expression, which seemed distressed. The next day, the injured boy came to school on crutches, gave Park Mi-jung a meaningful look, and warned other students to be wary of her. Unlike the others, Lee Dongjin noticed Park Mi-jung's usual bench was in direct sunlight. To make her more comfortable, he asked his mother, who owned a store, to donate a sunshade to the school. Seeing Park Mi-jung comfortably sitting under the sunshade, Lee Dongjin felt a connection with her through his gesture. However, in their senior year, a male student from Lee Dongjin's class died mysteriously near a pharmacy after speaking with Park Mi-jong. He had been trying to clarify that a previous student's death by lightning, also rumored to be connected to Park Mi-jong, was just a coincidence. Park Mi-jong interrupted him, asking him to stay away. The boy, frustrated, followed her on his bicycle, but was immediately electrocuted by a fallen power line. This bizarre accident reinforced the rumors of Park Mi-jong being the witch. Vandalism appeared on Park Mi-jong's usual bench, and on a snowy day, she looked back at the school and left without returning. During class, Lee Dongjin watched her leave and anxiously waited for the bell, planning to confess his feelings as soon as class ended. After she left school, Park Mi-jong never came back, leaving Lee Dongjin with a permanent sense of regret. Years later, Lee Dongjin encountered Park Mi-jong again and believed it was fate. He followed her off the subway and discreetly trailed her to a residential area. He saw Park Mi-jong feeding stray cats and murmuring to them, realizing she still lived under the shadow of a curse. Feeling conflicted, Lee Dongjin followed her home. Lee Dongjin believed that people destined to meet would always find each other again. The next day, he searched for subway harassment man online and found the video posted by the students. The video showed that after Park Mi-jong got off, the harassing man tried to follow, but suddenly collapsed, clutching his chest. Lee Dongjin met with his friend Kim Jung-hyuk, a detective, to discuss whether some people might inherently cause misfortune, like causing their team to lose at sports events, items selling out just as it's their turn, or machines breaking when they use them. Kim Jung-hyuk thought these phenomena were just coincidences. Lee Dongjin wondered if someone could be entangled in a sort of curse of death, and if identifying this rule could break the curse and save them from misfortune.
You are watching Daddy Drama Movies, and I wish you subscribed.
Mi-jong was once a lively and cheerful girl with a bright smile. However, fate had been cruel to her. As a child, a boy cut her hair elastic, and the next second he fell into a sewer. A boy who admired her and brought her flowers was hit by a car right after giving them to her. Park Mi-jong naively thought these were just coincidences until high school, when a senior who reciprocated her feelings got into Korea University. He joyfully gave her his notebook and confessed his feelings, saying he would wait for her at university. The next second, he collapsed and convulsed. Using her judgment, Park Mi-jong realized it was a hornet sting. After recovering, the senior left the village for university and never met her again. Meanwhile, rumors spread that his injury was because he spoke with her. A boy interrupted the girl's baseless speculations by giving Park Mi-jong a box of milk, explaining that the senior's injury was an accident and not related to Park Mi-jong. On her birthday, instead of the thoughtful gift she expected, her father gave her money, hoping she would invite friends for a meal and make more friends at school. To not worry her father, Park Mi-jong lied about having friends. Fate's mischief did not cease. During a class, all 12 male students suffered food poisoning, while the girls were unaffected. Suspicion once again pointed to Park Mi-jong, with classmates convinced that she was connected to the incident. From that day, Park Mi-jong carried a heavy burden of guilt and began to fear interacting with others. During a school trip, a boy offered Park Mi-jong a drink as a pretext to confess his feelings. She immediately stood up, interrupting him, and walked away alone. Soon after, she saw the boy injured and being carried to the medical room by a teacher. After that incident, bad luck seemed unstoppable. In art class, a boy cut his finger. In physical education, another twisted his ankle. While playing basketball, a boy hit a metal pole, and during dance class, yet another boy slipped and got injured. These accidents led the boys to avoid Park Mi-jong, and rumors about her spread wildly in school, even linking her to her mother's death during childbirth and branding her the witch. A male classmate of Lee Dongjin, disliking the unfair treatment towards Park Mi-jong, tried to comfort her by saying it was all just accidents and not her fault. However, Park Mi-jong did not respond, and the boy left on his bicycle. Tragically, he was soon electrocuted by a fallen power line, cementing Park Mi-jong's reputation as the witch. The school was abuzz with talks of staying away from her to avoid fatal risks. In such an atmosphere, the school became a place where Park Mi-jong could no longer stay. After dropping out, she confined herself at home, never leaving. Her father, unable to accept that his exemplary daughter stopped attending school for no apparent reason, inquired among her classmates, and learned about the witch nickname. Realizing the extent of her suffering and humiliation, he was deeply saddened. While leaving the school with Park Mi-jung's belongings, he saw Lee Dong-jin, who had never believed the accusations against her. Lee Dong-jin was actively removing slanderous graffiti from a bench. Moved by Lee Dong-jin's firm support, Park Mi-jung's father was touched and asked him to remember his words, hoping that one day he could clear her name. Despite being shut in her room, Park Mi-jung longed for people to forget her, but the rumors only intensified and spread throughout the village. Her father, distressed by his daughter's pain, confronted the neighbors who maligned her. He sternly warned everyone, but after he left, the rumors continued to spread. Some even warned Lee Dong-jin's mother to keep her son away from Park Mi-jung. When her father returned home and saw Park Mi-jung feeding stray cats, she asked him to buy some cat food. Not wanting to dampen her spirits, he went to Lee Dong-jin's family store, which mainly sold fertilizers and pesticides and did not carry cat food. However, Lee Dong-jin's mother, out of sympathy, gave him some leftover cat food that Lee Dong-jin had bought for Park Mi-jung's father. After the senior students graduated, they quietly placed a bouquet of flowers and an album at Park Mi-jung's doorstep. Seeing this, Lee Dong-jin also wanted to give her the flowers he had prepared. But as he was about to approach, Park Mi-jung suddenly opened the door. Startled, he panicked and fled. Her father encouraged Park Mi-jung to continue her studies, explaining that passing the academic proficiency test would allow her to receive a high school diploma and attend university. He planned to sell the house and land after the potato harvest and move to Seoul with Park Mi-jung to escape the rumors. With her father's encouragement, Park Mi-jung regained...
You are watching Daddy Drama Movies, and I wish you subscribed.
...hope and started studying diligently. When the day came to harvest the potatoes, she couldn't bear to see her father work alone and joined him in the field. Unfortunately, disaster struck again when a venomous snake suddenly appeared and bit her on the ankle, causing her to faint. When she woke up, she found her father collapsed on the ground. She realized that in trying to save her, he had sucked the venom out of her wound and had been poisoned himself. Park Mi-jung was devastated. She screamed for help. But her father, knowing he was dying, used his last strength to stop her from calling for help, urging her to go to the hospital instead. He feared that if people found out, she would be blamed for his death. Park Mi-jung, heartbroken, pretended to agree to go home, not having the heart to tell her father that neighbors had heard her screams and were approaching. Eventually, her father died in Park Mi-jung's arms, leaving her an orphan. People blamed her, calling her the witch who even killed her own father.